flowiness update from me. We've got some exciting things happening over these next few weeks. So I just want to fill you in on what we've got coming next. So if you started right at the beginning of the Reset and Reveal program, we are on day 52 of 56, which is insane. Like, these past 8 weeks have been incredible, and it's just been really nice to see how much of a reminder this challenge has been, that it's not about being perfect, and it's just about creating that consistency, building that momentum, which has been well and truly done, and also learning how to stop the whole on and off cycle and just finding a really good flow, which is definitely what has been so clear to see and just incredible on a lot of different levels. So before we jump into the next phase, I want to fill you in on what we've got next week. So of course, do continue if you started at a slightly different day with the program, but if you started at the beginning, we've got our deload week next week. So this isn't a week that's like totally off, and I wanted to explain. So during the deload week, we want to reduce the training intensity. So this will be running next week, so lowering weights to around 50 to 60%. We're not training to complete failure next week, and I want you to think of a deload week. This is basically, it's like a bow and arrow. So we've just built up a lot of fatigue, and we've trained consistently over this past 8 weeks. So it's really important to give back to our bodies to drop off some of that fatigue, the inflammation that's been built up, and we do that by focusing on our recovery, our sleep, stress and inflammation. So that's done by reducing our actual volume, and honestly, this is one of the most important parts of progress in general, because we need to be able to recover so that when we go into our next push, we've got energy, we're not burning ourselves totally out. And especially when you've been in a deficit and whatnot, like, these phases and weeks are just as important as training hard, and something that I see neglected, because you think, oh, am I going to lose all my progress, when if anything it is literally like that bow and arrow, like it propels you forward. So just keep that in mind. It's not about binging as well next week because you're training less or anything like that, and it's not about doing nothing. Like, it's being strategic with our actual training, and think about more like active recovery next week. And yeah, this is generally the week where you'll find that you can sleep better, you might even feel visibly sort of tighter, get strength back, and just give yourself that mental reset. And then moving on from that, because the deload, it's not about like losing momentum. So we've got our deload week next week, and then the following week we're going back to the Reset and Reveal program for 1 week. So there's 2 weeks in total before we start Sculpt and Shift, which is our brand new next 8-week block, new training program, super exciting. There'll be more on that. But yeah, so next week deload, then we've got Reset and Reveal, so just back to usual training after the deload week. And then our next program is going to be a really good balance of fat loss, lean muscle, structure, routine, feeling strong again. And I cannot wait for this next era. Honestly, lots of exciting things are going on in the background and in the pipeline. So proud of you for making it this far, and please make sure you do your check-ins as well, and just reflect on where you've come from, as in where you started 8 weeks ago to this week. And honestly, there's been so many shifts, so I can't wait to see what you share over the next few days.